the best value that I can give it to you based on this topic. And what I think is that I will describe you my journey in the last 3 years in this specific space, from where I started, what I've built, and what I've found out at the end. So, okay, so who am I? I'm an entrepreneur from Milano, and I built my first company, Diversity, in 2010. After 10 years, I built also Internet AI. Those are companies working in the consulting space, and we build SaaS. Both companies are doing quite great in Milano, and I decided to invest a small portion of the revenues in order to invest in the Web3 space. And for this reason, I started another company called The Mind in 2002. So basically, I started investing in this space around here because I was kind of amazed of the bubble that we all saw around NFTs. So prior to this, I didn't know nothing about blockchain. I was just an entrepreneur working in the software development. And when I saw this huge explosion of NFTs, I was kind of amazed of two things. The first one is how many communities were building around something that for me was completely new. And the second thing that I never understood was what was the value of this? I mean, we saw launching NFT projects, but at the end, for me, they were just pictures. And I couldn't never understand why this huge technology that can provide a lot of benefits had so much hype. In fact, the hype exploded, and we saw the NFT bubble. But at the same time, I was looking at those communities they were building, and I was also looking on how the current communities are built today. So if you look at any type of community, all those communities are somehow locked in, and they're locked in some centralized spaces where they don't have any kind of control on their monetizations. So the idea was, okay, so what will happen if we provide all the features that the blockchain provides to all the digital communities that are on the web? If you look at the content creator economy, for example, there's a huge problem there. First of all, anyone who is investing in this space is treating their audience just as consumer. So they're seeking for likes, for visibility, but at the end, they don't give any value to their followers. And the second thing is that if you're investing a lot of your times on this in the creator economy, at the end, you finish to be locked in a central place where the product basically owns all your community data. It takes a percentage of your earning and basically decides fixed payments for your work. So you have no control of what you have built. And from my entrepreneur's perspective, I try to understand what is the market size of digital communities at the end. And I saw there's a huge opportunity there. So if you gather together all the influencers, all the content creators, the artists, or the brands that are building communities, this is an expansion that is growing year by year. So being an entrepreneur, I said, okay, let's try to build a product and allow anyone who's building a community to have the tools in order to allow them to actually own their communities and be completely independent, basically. For this reason, we built You Collect Me. So the core concept of You Collect Me was to be what we call the utility as a service. So the idea is that you have your community, you launch tokens around your communities, but in order to provide value to these tokens, you have to attach some value. What do you mean attaching value? It means that each token can allow you to have something that you can actually have back from the creator. So the basic idea is that this should provide a platform that can support all creators that want to actually own their community, or for brands, organizations trying to launch Web3 loyalty programs. So instead of being vertical, we wanted to create a product that would be free for everyone, completely open to anyone, and with smart contracts that actually are owned by someone who is launching them, and be fully flexible. So a platform that anyone can try to launch tokenize communities and provide them values through campaigns. The 4 core pillars was that we want to build something that is Web3 without complications. So let's remove all the complications around the blockchain, allow anyone to provide real-world perks to the owners of those tokens, and promote a shared economy model, and be able to anyone to create any kind of IT programs or NFT memberships around Web3. How we made it quite simple. So basically, we implemented account abstraction in order to reduce, to consider the blockchain more as a protocol layer rather than promoting it. So it's a non-custodial wallet. You can just click and log in. You will have an embedded wallet. All transactions are completely sponsored, and we implement account abstraction. The idea is that you can launch over time different type of campaigns, which can be fit for artists, creators, influencers, for crowdfunding projects, or branding organization. And for each token, during the time, you can decide to attach real-world perks. For example, what you can do is that you can attach, can be a token gated. You can say, okay, if you have this type of NFTs, you are able to book with me, a call, or you can reclaim a ticket, or you can do anything that you want. So how did it go? Not really good. And what are the biggest problems that we find out? The biggest challenge is that the community centralization. So we are aiming to find people that are willing to use the platform, but we divide them into groups. So if you have a community, it's really hard to transfer this community to different platforms. So users are used to stay on Telegram, on Twitter, and it's really hard to convince anyone who has created a community to start using something different. And this is a risk that usually people with the communities, they don't want to get into. But if you're willing to risk and try something new, probably you have a small community. But in that case, if you have a small community, you're seeking for visibility, and the platform is not giving you visibility. The second one, which is kind of the most important, is the customer acquisition and education. And this is, I think it's typical in this space, but it took me a while to understand it, is that even if this provides a great features, more than what the current solutions are giving you, you will spend a lot of money in order to educate your users on what are the benefits of this technology. Now, the bigger problem is that we came from the NFT bubble. So every time we try to explain what are the possibilities of our platform, people, as soon as they hear the word NFT, they say, no, this is a scam, I'm not interested at all. And the people willing to try and to invest some time to understand that this was taking way too much time. And the third one is when we propose this also to organizations or to brands or to company, there was regulatory uncertainty where basically for each country they had different rules and laws on how to manage this, and in Italy specifically was completely complicated to handle this. So beyond this, we had also different problems. First of all, we launched the product around here in 2023, and the NFT market completely exploded, and the interest in this technology was almost zero. There were some still signs that probably this will come back, grow, but these are just, again, speculation. But we are kind of affected of the fact that the NFT market was completely a bubble that disappeared. And it's true that a lot of it is true that many companies, even the 40% of the top 100 global companies, have launched the NFTs in the last 2-3 years. But it's also true that an estimate of 30% of this has already decided to delete their projects, and they discontinued their NFT and loyalty programs. So still, there are some companies that are investing in this, but as our target was to get and reach smaller businesses or smaller organizations, still now things are not working well. It's still hard to convince them to try. But one thing that we saw and that is actually working now are the NFT ticketing. If you look at NFT ticketing, they are kind of, again, a type of loyalty programs, because over on the NFT ticketings, you can build loyalty programs or memberships around them. And we saw many of these projects, they are shifting in this trend. So they are wanting to launch NFT ticketing, and on top of this, start to build some NFT loyalty programs. And how I see the future, I see there is still some potential here to grow. We have to restart again from almost a zero. And because of the CAP, the real world asset tokenization, if you look at them, you will see how this can somehow fit around the loyalty programs and NFTs. So my conclusions of this experience in the last 3 years, which I wanted to show you, is that it's true that token membership and loyalty programs still have an advantage over current centralized models. But unfortunately, we are still in an early phase, and it's really, really expensive to educate Web2 users to let them try something different, something new. So what I learned from this is that it was worth trying, it's worth still investing in this, but we need to stay strong, keep learning, experimenting, and building our projects. Thank you very much. Do you have any questions about this? Thank you.